Hello and good morning friends, welcome to CEC-UGC live lecture. Dear friends, as you know, in this session we sometimes talk about communication, and since our previous sessions we have been talking a lot on communication, but today our topic is slightly different. It is different in the sense that today we are going to discuss on how to develop excellent business communication, that is the communication skills required for business. For this we have again with us in our studios Professor Nirmal Bhatnagar. She is a soft skill trainer as well as she has been advisor to many institutions. So first of all, I would like to welcome our guest Professor Bhatnagar. Ma'am, welcome to the EduSet lecture, and I hope all the students who might be watching you since long might be waiting for you for your expert skills so that they can develop their skills and become a good professional. So over to you. In all, first of all, we would like to know, starting from communication to business communication, what is the concept?
Well, we have been talking enough on communication. Well, communication skills are needed in a slightly different manner in business. When we say the word business, it does not mean only in the literal sense the business people. Not that what we call those who are in business, those who are doing their business. Business means your workplace. Any place, maybe you are an employee, you are an employer, you're running your own little industry, you are working for someone, or whatever way you are interacting as a salesperson, as a marketing person, as an executive, as a chief executive, as a director, even as a clerical level in a company, you are interacting with others, and this interaction is called business communication. Now today we are going to tell you how at your workplace, when you are talking, when you are communicating, you can become more effective, more acceptable, and more what you call a popular figure in your organization. And for this you have to just develop a little more skill. Now what are these skills? So let's start dividing the business communication into two different areas. The first area maybe we can call oral area. Well, to enter into a business, businesses enter into anything which is economically profitable or where you are earning your living or something is called business place for you, and to enter there you need first an interview, and we have been talking about interview skills in past, but rapidly I will just repeat them, that at the time of interview you should have a controlled talking, you should know your subject well, you should know about the company you are entering, you should also be able to what you call understand the thinking of the directors, the company, their business, their branch offices, and what are you aiming to be in the company. Now once you're selected, it's not that now I'm selected, now I have a cushy job and I can get along with it. No, it's not like that. You're supposed to be working day and night for making a success of your job or the position, whatever you have secured as a result of your successful interview. Now for this I'm going to divide the communication into three areas. First is oral communication. Now oral communication is generally matched in business with your what you call visual communication also. Like your body language must coincide with your oral communication. What do I mean when I say this? See, when we talk, the expression we have on the face must match to the way we are talking. If we are entering a lift, the sweet smile or little smile or a small little nod to what you call acknowledge the good morning of your person at the lift, juniors or somebody you have come across, uttering the word good morning, uttering it with a swollen face or saying it with a smile makes a difference. So the difference here is in the office communication, in the business communication, oral and visual combination must combine your body gestures, that is how you move your hands, how you move your body to say no, how you use your expression, and also speak about it to your colleagues, to your people, matters a lot. So, for oral and visual communication combined, we require certain points within us to make our communication more effective and acceptable. Number one, do not lose your smile. By smile, one does not mean laughter or jeering or maybe a big face, lip apart and trying to show that you are artificially, just a little good expression on your face, a face which is called the smiling face. Not that grumpy look at all into you. It really helps, and with that look, if you enter your office and somebody is talking to you a good morning or reminding you of something, you should be able to speak to the point but not sound unfriendly at all. When I say to the point, that uttering long sentences, going on explanations does not matter when you are entering the office and somebody on the way stops you. Madam, this is happening, or sir, this is happening, this is this, can I do this? Say, okay, we'll look into it, kindly come and speak to me. You know, these are some little expressions, not that you stand there and start arguing and go on chit-chatting. That is not a good, effective way of talking, because that makes your talk very impersonal, and that means you're trying to show off, you're trying to sound to others. Also, you're trying to, what you call, announce to others, this is what I am. And you are not going to do that. So if somebody wants to discuss something, say, can we sit and talk? Can you come down to my table? We can sit and talk. Can we sit in my room and discuss this point? Okay, I have understood. Kindly bring the papers, we'll talk about it. So this shows that you are crisp, short and business-like person. You are not a person that who on the way stop and start taking out one gossip out of the other, one little talk, one little question, dividing it into big lectures and going on and on and on. This is a wrong business way of communication. Then the second thing about oral communication is, it is very necessary that you use your soft words. I have been talking about these soft words in practically all my lectures earlier. What are these soft words? The soft words are good words that we call it, which are available in every language. Now, what are these good words? They are thank you, sorry, may I, could I, can we do this, can you do it, kindly do this for me. These are soft words which always make your conversation very, very acceptable, especially in the business field. Now, if somebody walks into your room and gives you a file, or you've asked for a paper and the paper is kept on your table, it's just a very courteous way of saying thank you. What stops you from saying thank you if somebody hands you over something? A little thank you matters a lot in business communication. But you will find that many of us forget, especially when we go to a senior position. We feel, oh, it's my right, I've asked for a file, the person has walked into my room with that, I had ordered him, okay, he's done something for me, ye ho gaya, and you just turn your face or look somewhere else. No, do not forget your kind words. Thank you. You need something, can you please do this for me? Can you kindly bring this file for me? I would like to see this, please. Please, thank you, sorry are few words which need to be used if you have to have effective communication. That is, again, I am talking about oral communication. Then we come down to the actual speaking, where you are supposed to be speaking. It could be speaking in a meeting, it could be speaking in the room of the boss, it could be speaking amongst the colleagues, it could also be speaking to your subordinates or labor or colleagues, anybody. Now, make sure that you are in a business environment, so your words should be well guided. Never use loose language in office. When I say loose language is that slangs that we use. You must have seen many times, even in colleges, schools where you all must be studying, there must be internships where you go, or maybe the companies where you have joined in or where you're working. you sometimes use slang language and abbreviations. So I've come from BCL. What is BCL? How do you expect the person on the opposite side to know that there is something called BCL? Might be connotation for any number of things. So never in a business language, your clarity of words, well chosen words and short words mean a lot. So when you speak in business circles, kindly make sure that you know what you are speaking. Balance your words before you utter them out. Only utter the need-based words. Do not utter stories and stories and stories. Nobody has time in business to go on round and round and round and tax his or her mind to understand what you are trying to say. So it is very necessary that you choose your words. You decide what exactly are you trying to convey. What is the answer required of the question asked to you, and then give it to the point. If a person is not clear, he will ask you another question. He will seek clarification, but it is not for you to go on telling stories after stories after. It's not an essay writing competition, neither it is an allocation, neither it's a debate, nor it is a bhashan that you are expected to give. It is just a business talk. If I want to know what has happened about that project I gave you, you just say, sir, the project is in the making and we tend to finish it in a week's time. If this satisfies me, okay. If it does not, I'll ask you, how do you say it will be completed? Tell me which stage it has reached. Then you give another answer. The stage has reached this. Then if I am still not happy, I might ask you something more. No, I would like to know who all are working on this project. How you have allocated duties. You again answer. So the conversation in business, the communication is business, comes out of questions. And you have to be very appropriate in what you are answering. Now for this conversation, if I was a bad communicator in business world, I may be very good outside in my friends telling stories, but in business if I tell my boss, you know sir, that project was like this, that man did like this, we went there but the water overflowed, this happened, that happened, and but still I'm trying to take all action, blah blah blah. You know, nobody is going to take you seriously at all. And quite possible that your boss may snub you right there and say, come on, come to the point. I don't want to know what is happening. I only want to know what is the progress. This sort of snubbing is a minus point of your personality in the business world. So when we speak on any forum in business, we have to be very careful about how much we speak, to the point we speak. We don't roll around stories and bhumikas and introductions unless we are asked to do that. So the conversation has to be short. The words spoken should be clear and neatly done. No idiomatic speaking. You can't say, sir, wahan to ye यूं था, and you use a big idiomatic quote. Don't do it. It is not required. You are not supposed to be showing off your knowledge of English or knowledge of Hindi or knowledge of your language. You are only there to tell the right answer to the query asked. So the language has to be simple, to the point, short, and you have to wait for the next question to give the other information. Unless you are asked to give the whole information, and from A to Z you have to give the information. Even in that A to Z information, you should stick to purely business talk. No side talking at all in business world, which is very necessary. Then we come down to another oral thing, that is called when we are in a meeting. You know, generally when we sit in the meetings and they are oral meetings, there is nothing written there, and a matter is being discussed, then what do? Generally the tendency is that you like to take the lead or speak more. You feel more you speak, more you participate, you will be appreciated the best. But it is not true. in business world, listening matters a lot. You should be a good listener. You should listen to everybody's point of view. Then formulate your argument and then put it in again the shortest format that you can do. Do not cut short people in between. Do not shout in between. Somebody disagree drastically, allow that man to say his word, and then you say, sorry sir, I do not agree with you. Again, a polite word, a soft word need to be used in interaction even at a business meeting level. Not only that you have to be polite to the top man, you have to be polite to your colleagues sitting in the meeting, to anybody else who is a part or parcel of that meeting. So in the meetings also, when we use our oral communication, the basic principle that you have to be to the point, you have to be a very good listener, you have to not argue too much, you cannot cut short anybody in between, you cannot say shut up to someone. Shut up, I don't mean that you actually use the word shut up. There are ways of telling somebody shut up, and that is you make a stupid sound or you make a stupid gesture. All those things matter a lot in business communication. Try to look sober. Never cut jokes in business communication. It is not right unless you are in a very informal communication with someone that you know for ages. In business world also we develop friends, like maybe my colleague becomes a very, very dear friend of mine, but when we are talking business, then he or she or I have no right to cut a joke or make a personal remark or just say that you are wearing a very beautiful sari. No, this is a very personal remark. Oh, why are you not looking very good today? What's wrong with you? You can ask me this question minus the meeting. But in business world, you have to be very business-like. You have to be only talking what is required in connection with your business. Of course, there are occasions when you are in the lunchroom, when you are into a get-together, that you can talk something light. You can make a personal remark also, depending on how the other person takes it, but not in official rooms that you are supposed to be cutting jokes or all the time laughing at the top of your voice or something. These are not the business communication methodologies. Now we'll come down to written methodology. In the written methodology in business world, we have to write letters, we have to write circulars, we have to sometimes prepare a note, sometimes a summary, a brief, and send it we read the whole file or the whole project, prepare a one-page summary out of it point-wise. Now, in written world, you have to be very sure that you seriously read through what you are trying to explain to other. First you read and then you rewrite it out in your language in the shortest possible form, that we call summary format. Make it into points that this is this project, this means this has happened in the first stage, this has happened in the second stage, this is happening in the third stage, at present this is the present status of the project, so that the person who is looking at the 50-page project just glances at your summary and knows what is exactly in those 50 pages. That means writing a summary is a very, very important point while you have to work in an office. Not only writing a summary, then comes presentation. We all have to make some sort of presentation to make our points understood to other people. How do we make a presentation? Now, presentations are, you can make a PowerPoint presentation, you can make an oral presentation, you can do extempore, you can talk about extempore things. Depends on what is your own caliber and how well you prepare yourself. Suppose you are speaking extempore. I'll recently give you an example of our Prime Minister. He has been using extempore speech off and on. In most of the platforms he uses extempore. it does not mean he is not prepared. It really means that he has looked into the occasion, he has looked into his points, he knows his points threadbare, and if he happens to feel that I'm going to forget a point or skip a point, you'll find he'll carry a small little slip which will just have 1, 2, 3, 4 those points, and he will just glance where he feels that he is diversifying from the points. So even while speaking extempore, what I'm trying to say is that you have to be very well prepared. It's not that somebody asks you to come and speak. Your subject should be very well known to you, or even if you are taken unaware to speak, that suddenly somebody says, come on, I request so and so to come and say a few words. You must give it half a minute to put your mind, what are you going to talk? Just don't go and stand and start bulging out anything. No. What is the occasion? What is expected? What are the people into? What set of mind the whole gathering is in? And accordingly you formulate your words and speech. We in business sometimes forget, when we are talking in the boardrooms, when we are talking into the offices, when we are talking on somebody's farewell, when we are talking on somebody's new induction into office, or when we are talking to a foreign delegation or an Indian delegation, what happens basically is that we take it quite easy. Oh, I know everything, I can manage. It's not that always. You have to glance through your points. Even if you're not doing what you call in writing, mentally you should be prepared about it. You should know, okay, now this is what I'm going to say. This is what these people understand. For this, understanding your audience is very, very necessary. Now, when I say understanding your audience, not that you have to go and make a research out of them. At least you know that you're talking to labor. Labor understanding is this level. The language they understand probably is Hindi or the local language. Suppose you're talking in a very well designed marketing meeting where all types of people are coming. Then you know their bent is towards marketing, and they're going to basically like the words that I use towards the commercial side of the marketing. Similarly, when you're talking to your chairman and he is going to call you to discuss something or ask you to speak at a meeting where he is discussing some new project, you should know that project very well. You should know that today's meeting is going to be focusing on this, and if I am asked to speak, then what should be my focus? Maybe that you are not prepared, you know, maybe you don't get a chance to speak at all. But before going into that meeting, you should know your focuses, you should know all about what is going to happen or what is happening. Like Independence Day, we all know the subject is independence and something to do with Indian progress, or maybe about the martyrs, or maybe about the War of Independence, or whatever it is. So we, on that day, when we are sitting there, our mindset is on that particular topic. We know a little bit and we keep revising in our mind, so that when we speak, suppose somebody independently tells you, come on, today is Independence Day, why don't you come and speak to the colleagues? So you should know that today is Independence Day and you are mentally prepared, your focus should be on that particular day, and you should speak about it in the right perspective. That shows your knowledge, that shows your acceptability. People appreciate, oh God, what a knowledgeable person. Oh God, he or she knows what she's saying. So, you know, little things that I'm trying to say today matter a lot when we are in the offices, when we are working. Like I'll give another example of students and teachers. Now there are times the teachers come only, their focus is only on their own topic, their subject. They don't diversify their mind here and there at all. And there are days when students are not in a mood to study, or maybe they are not very keen to study the subject on which you are going to talk to them. So what do? If you diversify, if you have a different mindset, you can tell them a story about a person in the history. You can tell them about an incident. For this, you should be mentally prepared. Now what I am focusing at, where I am driving all of you, is towards being well-read person. It is very necessary for anybody who is in the business world, who is working in any field to be well alert on the surroundings. It is very nice that you know your knowledge is enough, not that you're supposed to know or research into a particular topic, but at least the talking sense on the subjects which are spread around you or which are of vital interest to the country or to the entire world or to a particular problem which is going on. You should be aware so that in a discussion you are not caught unaware. So reading becomes a very important part in your business field. Reading not only about your office affairs, not only confining your knowledge to your own department, but also interacting with other departmental people so that you know where exactly are you going, where is the company going, what is happening where, and correlate the whole thing and then speak about. So it means that your knowledge regarding surroundings, your own office affairs should be well planned and well be available with you. So then we can also say about knowledge. That means knowledge, where do you get it? You read. So a business communicator must not only be confining to his or her files, but should be reading things like a newspaper, like a magazine, maybe a book sometimes, maybe company's balance sheet, maybe company's brochures or things like that. So we'll continue out here. I would like to now take you to another field, but we'll
Definitely, ma'am is continuously telling us about how to develop communication skills while in the professional field. If you talk about communication alone, it starts with the individual at home, then at school, then college, and then when person goes to office, or before that when one goes for the interview, his or her communication skills are identified there, and then from onwards this process goes on. So over to you, ma'am, again.
Actually, I was talking about the office atmosphere till now. I will take you to the general side of life also. When we talk of business communication, it is not confined only to the offices, but we may call it to the workplace of a person. Take the case of a shopkeeper. Take the case in a shop of a small little salesman. It is how he communicates, how polite he is, what words is he using, how he is trying to convince the customer, how he is behaving with the customer, what is his body language, what is his communication level. All these things matter a lot to the customer. And many times, if you are very impressed with the salesperson, even if you don't want to buy something, you feel like picking something and telling him, okay, I think I'm convinced I like to take this. So small little business communications are to be practiced not only in offices but in shops. Even if you go down to the base level business people, which we call sabjiwalas, the vendors, you know, there's one vendor who speaks very rudely, uses a bad language all the time. Not that he is consciously doing it, but if he is not made aware of it and he is using it, you don't want to talk to him. You don't want to buy anything out of him. You let him skip out of your walking. You go to a person who says, हाँ जी बहन जी क्या लेना है जी आप ये लो जी ये तो बहुत अच्छा है जी जी जी. So little good words all over from base level to the highest office level to the managing director level are very necessary in your business. So we were talking about written communications and I was taking you towards presentations. Now in presentation your knowledge shows. You should be to the point. If you are making a PowerPoint presentation, then your presentation has to be what you call well thought of, well designed, and it should be to the point. Do not write too much on the paper and display it on the board, because more you write, more people will be reading the board and not listening to you. So only the bullet points, just little point, and under this you should have your full knowledge and control to speak go on looking at the moods of the listeners. What is the saturation point? Where do they do not want to listen to you? Then break it a little bit, use an antidote, use a little example, or use an incident from the life which they have seen. Do not in business use incidents if you're speaking to that sort of crowd about the things people have never known in their life. Like a person has never seen America or American culture or anything, and you're addressing a presentation to a very ordinary village level crowd, and you're giving them examples from America or from Europe. How do you expect them to understand that situation? They've never dreamt of it, they have never seen it, they have never decided what that communication, they never interacted in that particular society ever. So try to use localized examples in your presentations so that they interest and people try to identify themselves with that particular example. So examples are basically a breakthrough, where you can call it a breather or a breakthrough or a small little break that you give to the listener's mind so that their minds come back to your point again. So it is very necessary that communication that you choose at the time of presentation is simple, no idiomatic languages, no difficult Shakespearean words. It should be simple, understandable, with examples and quotes from the localized people. Of course, if you are going to a very, very high up society, a group of managing director level or highly qualified people, then of course you should give them that feeling, yes, you know your audience and you give them that feeling that they are very well read, they know all the examples, and then you can use these big high up examples that I was just trying to dissuade you from using. Now we come down to another section of business communication, and that we call, as we take it forward, the modern communication. You know, business is changing day by day, environment is changing day by day. The students who were with us 15 years back were not with us 10 years back. In 5 years' time, they are still different. And today's student, today's people who are preparing themselves to get into business of any type, may it be an entrepreneurship, may it be executive job, may it be a clerical job, may it be a roadside job, anything, are of different thinking altogether. So communication has to be molded according to the customer, according to your target audience. So today's target audience cannot accept a communication, cannot accept a presentation which is anciently designed. Of course, there are certain common factors like good words, please, sorry, thank you. These are the words which are universal words. The world may change, the times may change, the skills may change, but these words remain there always. But in modern world, which I'm talking about, that your communication skills are concentrated into your computer. Social media is picking up, the computer chat programs are there, then there is an internet where you can be sending messages. Now all these methodologies that you've got again have their own limitations, and communication skills have to be learned to use these methodologies. Number one, the modern methodologies require a very crisp, short and to the point language. We cannot go on writing and writing on a social media and on a computer conveying a message in 2 pages or 2 paragraphs or maybe a full page. No, people have no patience to go through so much. So most of the communication on social media has to be to the point, crisp, short and sweet. Like you have to convey your message in the shortest possible method using the well chosen words which are computer savvy words. You don't use the big line words which go into about 20 alphabets. No, go using smaller words which get composed into 4 to 5 to 6 maximum alphabets. Then another thing very important is that the time factor, because all the modern methodology, the time factor is very important. So do not, even if you're video conferencing or talking on video, do not take long time. Do not go on dragging your words. Not that you go on dragging one after the other a word, go on, repeating your words. In modern methodology, if you have to make a presentation, or if you have to talk to someone, or if you have to convey to someone living in America a message, make sure that you first design your message, maybe in your mind, maybe on a piece of paper, jot out points, and then start your chat on the video, or then start speaking or contributing on video conferencing. Because there's no time that somebody will tell, oh wait, I'm just looking at the file, and you keep turning the pages of your file or your project and then say, okay, yes, this is the point. All this is no more available or allowed in the modern sense of business communication, because now time factor is very important. People have a very busy lifestyle. There is nothing called time. Whatever little time they get, they want to use it in leisure, because their life is becoming tougher day by day. Then another thing that we use is emails. Now email, again, we cannot go on making the attachments bigger and bigger and bigger. Like you're sending somebody a small little biodata of yours through email. Don't make it 20-page long biodata. It's not possible for anybody to detach all those 20 sheets and compile them together. Paper is costlier. Even on the computer, for them to condense it becomes difficult. So on the computer, when we make attachments, we just say the attachment number 1 is this, 2 is this, 3 is this, and to the point attachments we give. We do not waste our time or the other person's time, unless it's a legal document which you are supposed to give the whole document on the computer. That's a different point altogether. But most of the conversation, most of the emails that we make are informative emails, or we are trying to convey the company's rates or policies or marketing something. So make it as short as possible. The life is what you call condensing itself. So make, in the modern methodology of business, we do not keep files, we do not keep documents, we have one little computer as your whole office. You have to store all your data on that computer. So compartmentalize, store your data in a manner that you can recoup it fast. Make sure your data is very short and in a very concise manner, understandable by anybody. Do not use your confidential languages. Try to make a language which is an official language, but use it into a very simple way so that everybody understands. Then we come down to a very, very important thing which is really picking up now in the business communication, is what we call talking and walking. Walking and talking theory is the latest theory in business, where people do not believe in sitting in the cabins or sitting on the chairs whole day and ordering around, or sending communications either through computer or through messages or handwritten sheets or whatever we use. Here the people is that if I suddenly desire that I need to clarify this point from my colleague sitting outside my room, I just walk with the paper, go to her room or go to her table and ask her, is this like this? She'll answer me there, and then I come back and work on it. So the idea here is to not to waste time calling a person 10 times into your room, going out. So the things are changing. We are adopting systems which are used abroad, because now that all the computer and other assistants have come, telephones are there, pick up an intercom, ask, can you please tell me this? Or I want to know where exactly is this in this whole write-up, where is this point? Go turn down to page 3, column this, and you'll find this thing. So things are moving faster. The business communication has become speed, it's gathered so much of speed that you have to coop up with that speed. And for this cooping up with the speed, you need clarity of mind. Not only clarity of mind, clarity of subject. So make sure, this makes life not very easy. This makes life more difficult because you have to store here in your mind tons of things. Not only store them, you have to have the backing of them in form of books, in form of documents, but you cannot put all those documents in front of someone. So you have to, what you call, pick up the right methodology out of them, right points out of them, and then send them to your people in different areas. Now with this sort of lifestyle, in the modern lifestyle, the business communication is no more writing circulars, putting in notices, writing long letters, posting them, or even sending them by hand or something, or creating big documents, putting them on your boss table so you think he's going to read them. No, those things have gone. In modern setup, for young people like you, I think when you go into your business world or pick up some sort of workplace, then you should be able to find that your knowledge is tremendous. And the knowledge gaining, again, you don't have to go into books these days, you don't have to go into magazines or hunt here and there for knowledge. Your entire knowledge is concentrated on your Google in the computer. Read the subject, pick up your points from there, jot them out. You should be knowledgeable enough, gather knowledge, and try to use that knowledge as and when it is required to be used. So be specific, short, sweet, using nice words, and polite. Use correctly your instructions, take your instructions correctly. Come and think about it and act on it. These are the things which are very necessary in business world today. So business communication, we have talked in a very general manner today. I haven't taken you to point, but if you really feel that what exactly is that we are going to talk, let's start it out. The first thing I told you, that we all are into business communication in one way or the other. There are times at home also, if you think you're negotiating with your parents, you're negotiating with someone, you're negotiating with a vendor or something, it is a sort of a business communication. Now, how much you have to argue? What is behind your mind? You've decided that I'm going to pay X price to this for this good, and you keep sticking to that and keep arguing around that price. Now that is one way of doing it. Going ahead into the workplace where you are going, how you behave. There are several things I told you, and if you say, first is, I said, keeping a smile, a cool on your face, making sure that your body language coincides with your expression. Your body language coincides if you're saying good morning to someone or responding to somebody's good morning or good afternoon or namaste. Your expression on the face should be a little smiley and concerned that yes, you have accepted, not this that you are into your own world of thoughts and somebody is greeting you and you don't look and you say, this is not the right way. You always get that, what you call, you always get that sort of feeling from the others that he is a very snooty person. He's a person who's very proud. He thinks too much about himself. And next time probably he'll think twice before greeting you. So a smile, acceptability level on your body language, acceptability level to match your body language with your oral communication, Oral communication needs to be very well thought of before you utter your words. You can't utter your words unthinkingly. You have to think twice what are the points in your mind, and that point how you have to convey to whom, at what level are you conveying. If you're conveying to a peon level person, you should know that your audience at the moment is a person whose understanding level is here, and you have to create your words accordingly so that he understands. You want him to go and convey a particular thing to a person outside and ask him to come into your room. You have to tell him in his language, in his way, unko bula ke le aao. But if you're speaking to somebody higher up, you have to design your communication accordingly. So communication in office, for having an effective effect on the people you are dealing with, needs to be designed according to the target audience to whom it is going. It is not to show you off your own knowledge. I'm not showing off that I am very good at English, so I'm speaking English here. No, I'm using the words which I personally feel inside my heart are understandable. You must have seen that sometimes I come down to very, very poor type of low category examples. And why I do it, I take you to your household and talk about your mother, talk about your father while talking business. Why am I doing it? I could have used some very, very good example from American business world, from Japanese business world, but no. My talking, whatever I'm doing, is to make you understand, and if I'm able to make you understand even one or two or few points which you feel, yes, I think I could adopt them. I could do this to be a better personality, to be a better person. I could be, if I'm more acceptable by using it, I'll use it. Then I'm a successful communicator, otherwise I'm not. Because in business world also, you must have seen certain bosses are very popular, despite the fact they are very strict on the rules and regulation, but still you feel, okay, the man has some caliber. The man knows his job very well. Man knows how to keep a discipline. He knows when he has to be stiff. So people, when they talk about it, because they know that their communication level is an acceptable level, they speak to the point. They mix up with you in, social gatherings in a different manner, but while sitting on the chair or while in the office, their attitudes are total business attitudes. So what we are trying to talk about is that please match your visual self to your spoken self. Whatever you're speaking should match your expression also. If you're angry, the words may not be used as harsh word. You cannot only be angry with shouting at the top of the voice. You can be angry, show your anger by being an indifferent expression on your face, by just a little, eyebrows going up, or a body language which other understands. Say, oh, I'm disgusted. You can say a very bad word, disgusted word, or you can say, I'm so unhappy about the whole thing, without telling a person, you don't know anything, you are there, blah, 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 blah. Those times are gone. It's no more that, that Malik-servant relationship left, where the owner was the sole man. Now you have skilled people, and the skilled people, the educated people, the people who have brains, whose brain the education has opened up, who have thinking, who have seen the world. World is not only limited to its four walls of your workplace, but it is limited, it has unlimited choices for you. You go to a mall, you learn so much, you go to a market, you learn so much. So your brain is working. So out of this working brain, communication makes a very, very big contribution to your official affairs also. So in this sort of atmosphere, that communication that we call business communication needs to orient it in a very, very different style. Now from facial and oral communication, I brought you to written communication. Again I said, letter writing, long presentations, essay formats are all gone. We do not do that anymore. Not to make you explain, I write 6 pages of something and you feel, oh, what a lovely writer. Itna mota likha hai. He sent a file which is full of so many pages. No, the pages and words do not matter. It's the thought. How I am able to convey it in my few words. Even if I am able to convey it in 2 sentences, that matters more. So what we are saying is that written communication is shrinking to the extent of computers. Like in computers we use a very computerized language and sometimes it's irritating also. Sometimes you say, what a misuse of the language. But it's the space saving. We are trying to convey what we want to convey, and if we are able to convey what we have to convey, we have done our job in official communication. In official communications, one more thing which is very necessary is that we never under any conditions use an aggressive style. Aggression is minus business communication altogether. You know, aggression can be in form of manual aggression, it could be mental aggression, it could be what you call oral aggression. There can be so many aggressions. You can't insult someone. You can't outright tell someone you are a fool. You can't tell someone that I don't care, you go to hell. These are the expressions which we cannot use in business communication. Surprisingly, despite all the books written on the business communication, all the things that we teach our students from the beginning, we still find in official communications we lose our patience, or sometimes even the subordinates lose their patience and they come down to their very vulgar languages, and that is where the long-term fictions and fights emerge. So in office language or business language, the softer words, as much as you can use them, a please, a sorry, a thank you. Thank you is something which should keep coming out in business language all the time. You should be courteous enough, you should be business-like enough. Nobody, I mean, not that your dignity is gone if you get up from your chair and go to your PS table or go to your department and seek a book or seek a paper. It's just that how you behave yourself. You are your own boss. You know where you stand in the office, and nobody can come and sort of throw you out of your place if you know your job very well. So do not fall under false dignities. These are called false attitudes, which are very injurious in business communication. Though we feel, oh God, head up, no speaking to anybody. अगर इधर देख लिया या किसी से पूछ लिया आपका क्या हाल है तो हम तो pull down. No, nothing of this sort at all, please. So things are very different in business communication. And please remember, whatever we have talked in business communication is still available in India in number of offices, maybe majority of places where you might go, but times are changing. We are getting into the electronic world of business communication, and I told you which requires control on your language, which requires conveying your thought in the smallest possible and to the point manners. So learn to write summaries, learn to first grab the idea. So listening has taken more important part, reading has taken more important part than conveying. And more you read, more you want to convey, then how you convey in 2 words, how you convey in smallest possible way is for you to write. So electronic world has shrunk the whole communication world in business into small little dibbas, and these boxes are called computers. Your electronic devices, your laptops, your iPads. Even now I find that even the iPads and computers are set aside, and most of the time people are using, what they call your mobile phones. you check up your mails on mobile, you reply on mobile, you chat on mobile, you give business messages on mobile. So telephone and short messages on the smallest possible screen are replacing the huge offices. A business world, a world of communication is shrinking into teeny weeny boxes. So with them, your mind is shrinking into a big box of thought. And whatever you speak in business, nobody likes you to speak more. Nobody likes you to go on giving explanations. They want work, to the point talking. So please remember, business communication, from long explanations, from running stories, telling examples, going into explanations, has turned into a teeny weeny concise working style, which is you speak to the point, speak as little as you can, but when you speak, you should be able to put your point forth in the right words, with the right expressions, and to the right person. So audience have no patience anymore. Audience has no time anymore. The business cannot stand an hour for you to prepare something. Your grasping power, your listening power, your reading power, everything has taken a very, very fast pace. You are fighting against an electronic world. So please remember to learn to use your computers. If you have to be business savvy, you should be computer savvy. You should be savvy in all the latest electronic devices. Your writing and reading skills should go up very high, and your oral expression should be short, crisp, and acceptable.
Definitely, ma'am, you made us learn very important things which are required to be incorporated in our day-to-day life, because as we always say, a good human being makes a good professional. And when somebody into business kind of thing, and when one needs to communicate on the business terms or on the professional grounds, one definitely needs to have a good communication skills. With this note, thank you so very much, and hope in future also we would be carrying such lectures which would help you to cope up with this outer world. With this note, thank you so very much, ma'am.
Thank you.